certain students of class 12th and students of class 11th. As I have already told you that this topic falls in both the syllabi, therefore it is a common class in this connection. Now I have already told you that when there is reporting verb in present or future tense, there will be no change in the tense while we change direct into indirect. There are now some rules. For example, when we want to convert interrogative sentence into indirect speech, what we have to do, we change said to or said to into ask or asked in case of there is past tense, inquire, demand, etc. And when the question begin with interrogative pronouns, for example, who, what, when, which, then we use the same word to introduce the indirect speech. For example, he said to me, he said to me, what are you doing? What are you doing in the class? Since the question begins with WH word or interrogative pronoun, therefore we have not use a conjunction. What we say? We can change it like this: he asked me what I, because you is actually I, what I, there is reporting verb in the past tense, therefore the verb also changes into past indefinite, but in I we use the singular, that is I was, what I was doing in the class. Means that here was present continuous, we change it into past continuous when the reported verb is in the past tense. If it is present indefinite, we have changed it to past indefinite. It is in present perfect, we have to change it into past perfect. And similarly there is another example. For example, Ali said to me, why do you come late to this school? You can say Ali asked me why. When there is do, omit it, don't. Why? She said to me, you, it is I. What? Why? I. Now we have to change this one. Come, it is present indefinite, we have changed it to past indefinite because the reporting verb is in the past tense. Why I came late to this school. Okay. Now there is one more type of question, that is called yes or no question. These questions start with the auxiliary verbs or begin with auxiliary verb. For example, Ahmad said to me, can you drive a car. Now it is a question, but one thing you should keep it in your mind while you change it into indirect speech. You have to convert it to assertive one and remove the question mark. Ahmed asked me, incurred me, asked me. But this question starts with auxiliary verb. Therefore, we have to introduce if or whether conjunction. If you is I, if I. Now change it into like this, like the previous rule. Reported verb is in the past tense. We have to change this present indefinite to past tense. Can will get changed into could. If I could drive a car. Drive a car, but full stop. It must be terminated at full stop. And likely we can write this. You said to me, will you listen to what I say? Now, you said to me, you asked me, will, this question is yes, no question. It starts with this auxiliary verb. Therefore, we can introduce if I will change it into would. If I would listen, because we have to change only one verb, that is auxiliary verb, and the main verb will remain in the same tense. Listen to what you, it is said by you, what you say. Reporting verb is in the past tense. Change into this, say into said. What you said. One more question. Suhail said to us, do you know this boy? We change this into that, these into those, here into there. Suhail asked us. When auxiliary starts with, when the auxiliary is do, does, did, omitted, we come straight to the. We have to introduce this conjunction, that is if. Then we have come straight. If we, because us, you is plural here, it is addressed more than one person. If we knew, in the first case, in the previous case, we had to change will into would, but there is do. Accordingly, it must change into did. But you know that do, does, did, which we can't. We omit it usually. Therefore, we have to change this one main verb. If we knew, past tense, because reporting verb is in the past tense. If we knew, this will change into that boy. Correct? And one more example. Teacher said to you, good, have you taught or have you brought some news? Now it also begins with an auxiliary verb, have. We can say teacher asked you if. Right. The question starts with auxiliary verb have. Therefore, we will introduce if or whether. If you, here it is you, we can't change this pronoun. If you, it remains same. If you have will change into had, brought some news. It was that how we change interrogative interrogative into indirect speech. There are two types of these interrogative. One is which starts with interrogative pronoun, and another is we have those auxiliaries, and there are two different rules for interrogative pronouns. Questions that begin with interrogative pronouns, the same word is used to introduce the indirect speech, and the sign of introduction is removed. While if it begins with an auxiliary verb, we use if or whether, and the rest of the rule remains the same. Thank you very much.